Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Brad Lewis with Premier Marketing. Thanks for joining us today. Today's exciting webinar is on unlocking the sales opportunities using the confidential needs analysis. And today we have our presenter, Troy Moon, with us. So if you joined us last week, you learned how to increase your income in the rest of this year and into next year. And that was Sean helped us with that webinar. And this is a follow-up to that webinar. And again, we'll have 3 other ones following this every week, same time, same day of the week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. So make sure you're registering for the other 3 as well. So as we go through today's webinar, if you have any questions, there's a questions section in the GoToMeeting menu there. Just type in your questions along the way, and Troy and I will come back around at the end and answer those questions for you. So with that, I'm going to introduce Troy Moon. Troy, take it away, buddy.
Thank you so much, Brad, for that wonderful introduction. And you used the word exciting. You know, I'd like to think that this stuff is exciting, right? So we'll do our best to captivate everybody's attention over the next 15 to 20 minutes. One of the things, and I was just talking to Brad about this, this will be the shortest webinar as far as duration goes in this series. And usually if I can see people's faces, I see like a sigh of relief, because we all know webinars can tend to be a little bit long, drawn out, and a little boring sometimes. So I assure everybody that this will not be one of those webinars. So like I said, we'll be able to knock it out over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Now, just because it's short in duration doesn't mean that it's not important, right? I would argue that this may be one of the most important presentations throughout the entire series. It may not have as much pop or sizzle as Sean's last week, which we always enjoy listening to Sean and hearing him present. But a lot of the things over the next few slides are going to be very important. And to be perfectly honest, the LARC platform itself kind of revolves around this confidential needs analysis, and that's really what we're going to dissect today. So the goal is, again, over the next few slides, for everybody to get a better understanding of what the confidential needs analysis is, and more importantly, how it can help unlock those sales opportunities, right? So we're going to break down each section and talk a little bit about how the questions get answered, and based on those answers, how you're going to be able to uncover life insurance and annuity opportunities. So without any further ado, we'll jump right into it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Brad and the whole team over at Premier for not only being an outstanding partner of ours, but allowing us the opportunity to come on here and do this series. So thank you so much for that. We can't say that enough. As always, we're not here to provide any tax or legal advice or investment advice. All of these presentations, including this one, are going to be for educational purposes only. So this platform here should look pretty familiar, I would think, to a lot of you on the call. If you haven't had the opportunity to jump out and just do some navigation through the LARC, or the Life and Annuity Resource Center, I'm sure it's very easy for you guys to get the URL. It's not, you don't have to register for this platform. You don't have to sign in. You just one click and you're in. So I'm sure Brad or anybody else over there at Premier would be able to drop the URL into the chat or email it or get it to you guys any other way if you want to go out and check it out. So we'd like to start this presentation by just showing the platform itself. There's all sorts of things out there. You know, Sean talked about a lot of them last week. There's annuity training and life training, as you can see. That financial inventory tab here, that is where we're going to be focusing today, and that's where you're going to be able to download that confidential needs analysis. We'll also talk briefly about the Ask a Specialist tab. That's where you're going to be able to submit quote requests. Okay, so all of the information that you obtain on the confidential needs analysis, which we're going to be looking at today, will make the Ask a Specialist requests very, very easy, because you're essentially taking the information that you obtained during your meeting and plugging it into the Ask a Specialist spreadsheet, and from there you'll be able to get responses as far as options for life insurance and annuities. Of course, this wouldn't be an all-inclusive platform if you didn't have a way to ask or submit contract requests. That's going to be under the Get Appointed tab. And then likewise, with the Submit Your Application, you have the ability to go straight to Firelight or iGo to submit annuity or life insurance apps electronically. So again, a very straightforward, very user-friendly site where you guys can go out and do your business as efficiently as possible. So we're going to jump into the form itself. But like I said, if you go out to the Financial Inventory tab, you are able to pull up or download this confidential needs analysis. For those of you who like to do everything in writing, still nothing wrong with that. You're able to download and then print out this document so you can fill it out by hand. Otherwise, it is fully, you can do it just straight through your iPad or on your phone or on your computer. You'd be able to just get straight into the document and fill it out electronically as well and save it from there. So the first section, very straightforward, very basic. It's going to give you the opportunity to obtain all of the pertinent information that you would need to get from your client, right? So it's just the basic information that you're going to need to be able to provide the specialists the opportunity to come up with some life insurance or annuity options for you. So again, very basic: name, date of birth, height, things like that. The basic information that you're going to need to be able to submit that Ask a Specialist ticket. That's going to be in that first section. The next section, this is an important section. This is the extended care section, okay? And we wanted to highlight this because this is where you're going to have the opportunity to find out if the client you're sitting down with has any long-term care coverage. So why is that important? Well, it's important for a number of different reasons. What I like to mention first and foremost is we've been seeing more LTC types of business over the last year or two than we ever have before. Very competitive products. Not only are the products competitive, but it is an underserved market. I can't remember the stat, and I wasn't on the webinar last week, but I'm sure Sean threw it out because he normally does. The percentage of Americans that actually have long-term care is very, very small. So again, it's important for a number of reasons for us to obtain this information. Mainly because it is underserved, and this is where you're going to find out if your clients have that coverage. You can see it asks, again, all of the pertinent information. If your clients answer yes to do you have long-term care insurance, you can take it one step further. You can get what the daily benefit is, the elimination period, the benefit period, if there's inflation protection in the company. If they answer no to this question, which again, a majority of the folks that you're sitting down with, just based on statistics, are going to answer no. You have the ability, and it's written out here for you. You have the ability to mention a few of the concerns that are out there regarding long-term care, right? So whether it's remaining independent or having choices, protecting assets, staying at home, whatever that may be, you can start that conversation with your client, and kind of getting the ball rolling by mentioning those 4 concerns, okay? And then you can ask them what their concerns are, if they have any, right? We all seem to have some sort of personal connection when it comes to long-term care, or the lack thereof, right? So, I have mine. I'm sure everybody on this call has theirs, and they've come across it in one way or another. So it's just a way to get that conversation started, and not to only let them know that that's something that you can provide, but let them tell you if they have the concerns, right? Because if they do, it's something that you can help bring to the forefront, and you can give them options. So this is a very, very important section that we always want to make sure we're asking if they have any long-term care, because it's going to uncover a ton of opportunities. Life insurance section. This is probably the most important. And again, when I mentioned earlier, the whole idea around the Life and Annuity Resource Center kind of stems, and for those of you that were on the webinar last week, it kind of stems from that one question sales system that Sean always talks about. He talks about the golden question, okay? So this is going to be the section of the confidential needs analysis where we get to the golden question, okay? So the beauty of it is, and I'm sure Sean talked about this, the beauty of it is whether your clients answer yes or no to the very first question in this section, do you own any personal life insurance? No matter what the answer is, you're still able to ask the golden question, and that's the beauty of it. It's there's no wrong or right answer. Of course, if they answer yes, again, you have the ability to gather the amount of coverage that they have, what type of life insurance it is, the monthly premium, things like that. And then, again, we're assuming the answer is yes, you can ask, do you have anything that acts like life insurance, right? And that is the golden question. Most of the time when you ask, do you have anything that acts like life insurance? Most of the time the answer is going to be, well, what do you mean? And that's why the box below it gives us some options. And we're asking, are there 401ks? Is there an IRA, a Roth IRA, a CD, annuity, brokerage account, whatever it may be? That's where you're going to be able to gather that information, and you're asking that question in a non-intrusive way. And again, that's the beauty of being able to ask the golden question is you're not just straight up asking, so do you have a 401k, an IRA, or a Roth? What else do you got, right? You're asking that in a different way, and it's non-intrusive. And Sean talks a little bit about the ego, right? Most folks that you're going to run into that are self-insured, they're going to be proud that they're self-insured, and they're going to be willing to share that information with you. And he usually, again, I wasn't able to join the webinar last week, but he usually tells a story about his friend that owns a condo. He lives on one side and he rents out the other. And he tells a story about, if they're anywhere that anybody asks if anybody is in the real estate business or owns real estate, his friend would be the very first person. He'd be raising his hand as high as he could because he's proud that he has that other side of the condo, right? So, and that's his ego, right? And that's kind of a funny story that Sean tells, but it's true, right? If somebody has worked hard, they have that 401k, they have that annuity, CD, broker account, whatever it may be, asking the question in this way, they'll most of the time be willing to share that with you. Now, if we take a step back and they answer no to do you own any personal life insurance, again, that's going to open up even more opportunity to hit them with the golden question, right? Do you have anything that acts like life insurance, or are you self-insured? And then you can go into the examples below, right? And check any of those boxes that apply. So again, this is the most important section of this form, again, for a number of different reasons, but mainly we get to, the the golden question, which again, the one question sales system that pretty much this entire platform was built around. So always make sure if you're in a hurry, or the clients aren't willing to talk about it, make sure you focus on this section because this is where majority of the opportunity is going to come from. And lastly, we'll look just real quick here at the retirement income section. Okay, this is where you're able to ask about their annual or their monthly income, whether it's coming from an employer, coming from Social Security, coming from a pension. You'll always want to make sure that you're not only gathering the information for the client you're sitting down with, but if they're married, make sure you're getting it from the spouse as well. It's best to have a full picture, as most everybody in this call probably knows. Best to have a full picture of what the monthly income looks like for the household. That way, when you are submitting those Ask a Specialist tickets, everybody will have that full picture and be able to provide the best options available and be able to address the client's needs. Below that, you're able to ask about, if they're working with another financial professional, right? Like whether they have someone that's managing money for them or whatever the case may be, if it's a friend, a neighbor, a family member. You have the ability here to ask them, who do they consult with when they're making those financial decisions. And then below, of course, a few different spots to put plenty of notes. Again, I'm sure Sean talked about it last week. He lives by it. The more, the merrier. So take as many notes as possible. Again, that's going to be the best way to design a scenario to really address the client's needs. So again, we didn't want to overlook the retirement income section. It is very important so that we can get that full picture. So now that we have looked at each section of the form and went through the questions, let's take a look at some of the sales opportunities that come from asking those questions. And we'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of this, right? I'm not expecting everybody to memorize all 8 of these sales opportunities. If you want to take a screenshot or whatever it may be, now is your opportunity. I'll have this up just for the next few moments. But we'll make sure everybody gets a copy of this because this is an important slide. It's one thing to complete the financial needs analysis or the confidential needs analysis, but it's another thing to know where those opportunities can come from within that document. So just a few things here, like I said, we're showing 8. We'll go down the list. Number 1, if the client answers no to having long-term care coverage and no to being self-insured, then that would be an opportunity to introduce an IUL with living benefits, okay? And I won't go into a lot of detail as far as, why that's an opportunity, because don't want to steal the thunder from my friends over on the life side. As Brad said, next week we're going to do 6 benefits of FIAs in retirement. I'll do that presentation, but the following 2 after that are going to be specifically focused on life insurance. So like I said, I don't want to steal too much of their thunder. They're going to go into IULs with living benefits and things like that. So they'll talk about this a little bit more in greater detail. Number 2, if the client answered no to long-term care, but yes to being self-insured, and this one's pretty obvious, it's an opportunity to have that long-term care discussion with them. You know that they don't have the coverage, but because they answered yes to being self-insured, they have those additional assets out there somewhere that may be able to be used to satisfy that long-term care need. So that's a really good one. Again, if it's no to long-term care, but yes to being self-insured, you have the opportunity to start talking about again, that underserved market of long-term care coverage. And there's plenty of different options out there for it. As most of you probably know, if you're familiar, on the annuity side, Equitrust has a really good product called Bridge. Global Atlantic has a great product called the ForCare. One America is another option. They have a couple of different options actually. That's just on the annuity side, right? There's more options on the life side as well. So again, plenty of information, plenty of resources out there for those of you who may not be as comfortable with having that long-term care conversation. There's plenty of resources that you have through Premier to get you to be comfortable, confident, and compliant. A few more here. If they've answered yes to having life insurance, then you know that they have the coverage, but it's an opportunity to sit down with them and do a review. Take a look at what they have. If you think that you're able to put them into a better position, it could be option for a potential 1035. So just because they've answered yes to it doesn't necessarily mean you just write it off like, oh, they're covered, they're good. It's an opportunity for you to sit down and do a review of what they have. And again, there may be potential there to do a 1035. Number 4, if answered no to life insurance and no to being self-insured, again, we know that they don't have any life coverage, and they're not self-insured, right? They haven't been self-insured through a 401k, a Roth IRA, an annuity, whatever it may be. It's an opportunity to have a discussion with them about an IUL or an Index Universal Life policy. Number 5, if they've answered no to life insurance and yes to being self-insured, of course, this is an opportunity to just like a few questions before, opportunity to offer a fixed index annuity or an FIA, right? They're self-insured, they have those additional assets that you may be able to readjust and put them into a better position to protect their retirement. The last few here, married, it's an opportunity for an income replacement with an IUL or an FIA. If there's kids in the picture, you have the opportunity to talk about passing on a tax-free gift through an IUL, and also talk about passing on lifetime income through an FIA if we're looking at that legacy type of play. So like I said, everybody will be able to get a copy of this slide just so you have it, so you can go back and reference it, right? After you fill out that confidential needs analysis, you can come back and reference this to really see where those opportunities may lie. Last couple of slides here. Like I said, the kind of natural progression is going to be once you complete the confidential needs analysis, now you're going to have the opportunity and the information that you need to fill out the Ask a Specialist form. Again, it's right there on the LARC dashboard. All you got to do is hit Ask Now, and this form will populate. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can toggle back and forth at the very top. You can toggle back and forth between life and annuity. And again, it's going to have all of the information needed to really build a compelling and competitive case. Okay, so all the information that you've gathered on the confidential needs analysis, you should be able to take most of it and put it into this Ask a Specialist. And you can see down below, there's even an option to attach files. So if there's statements or anything else like that that you feel comfortable submitting, you have the ability to do that as well. Additional comments, of course. All you have to do after you complete all of that is mark the release below and hit submit, and the team's going to take a look at it and put together a competitive, a couple of competitive options. Okay, it's a great resource to have. Lastly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it over here. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to go to the live. Here we go. So again, just to do a real quick recap of the dashboard itself. And before I do that, Brad, do we have anything in the chat as far as questions or concerns, anything like that regarding the confidential needs analysis?
Yeah, I don't see any questions yet, Troy.
Perfect. So like I said, lastly, what I'm going to do here is just do a quick run through of the actual platform itself. I know we had some screenshots in the presentation, but again, you can see here, there's annuity training, there's life training, this financial inventory section. This is where you are going to download that confidential needs analysis. It should populate pretty quickly. Again, you can see Premier has it branded and very easy to download, very easy to use. One click and you got it. Obviously, ask a specialist, like I said, the very next section, click it. Here's where I was saying you have the opportunity to toggle back and forth between annuity and life. Or if you just have a question, a general question, you can click that box and submit just a general question, whether it be about life or annuity or anything else. It doesn't hurt to have a place to go and ask those. So you're able to do that as well. And again, you can see pretty straightforward. Fill it out. Come down here. This is where you're able to attach those documents, mark the release, and submit. Lastly, like I said, you have the opportunity to add contract appointments here. And then when you're ready to submit the business, you have the opportunity to submit annuity and life both electronically straight through this dashboard. So I hope the last 20 minutes was beneficial for everybody. Brad, that's all I had. If there's questions, please let me know. If not, I'll kind of throw it back to you. I really appreciate everybody's time. And again, Brad, everybody over at Premier, thanks for the opportunity, and I'll be back next week.
You bet, Troy. Thank you very much. There aren't any questions right now, but we're certainly willing to take those. Shad and Shay are your points of contact for the annuity side of the business, and then Kelly's in the office this week on the life side of the business. Kathy happens to be out, but I did put in the chat our link to our version of Life and Annuity Resource Center. So if you are looking for that link, it's in the chat right now. I think one of the key points of this of Life and Annuity Resource Center are every part of it's important. But one, if you're new to the business, there's training for life and annuities. So if you're new to that side of the business, where you can gain the confidence and expertise that you need to have confidence in yourself to present the products to your clients and ask the questions. So that's critical there. The Ask a Specialist part, that goes directly to our team here at Premier. So the people that you talk to and work with every day are the ones that are going to field those Ask a Specialist worksheets. And what they're going to do is they're going to help you develop the plan. So the next step in this, right, if you uncover the opportunity is developing the plan, they're going to help you develop the plan and give you options for your clients that you can choose from that best suits them and is the most suitable sale for them as well. So just some critical add-ons there to what Troy added today. I just think the LARC is a wonderful system for us to use to help you grow your business and to be more confident and successful in life and annuity sales. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support you and do anything we can to help you grow your business. Let me see here. It looks like I might have a question. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Just to mention on the, someone just had a comment on the website that we have some closing tips from Tom Hegna on there. If you're not familiar with Tom, he's an industry legend, of course, trains thousands and thousands of agents every year. Probably one of the most passionate people I've seen in the business, next to Sean, probably. But yeah, we have those down there as well for you, which really helps you have conversations with your clients. Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. All right. Well, let me see if I have anything else here. I don't see anything else in the questions box, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up. On behalf of the team here at Premier and myself and Troy, thanks for joining us today. And we look forward to helping you with your life and annuity business. Thanks and have a great day.